Kira, what do you know about Ulysses S. Grant?
Nothing.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
According to an article by Cracked.com,
which is very reputable.
Union General Ulysses S. Grant suffered from perhaps the most unfair reputation of all generals during the Civil War.
Unfair how?
He was widely regarded as a common drunk. When drinking saved America.
You know what is American? Grilled cheese. No one's ever said, hell no, I don't want no grilled cheese.
Not even the lactose intolerant?
No, they deal with it. They're like, I'm gonna hurt later. Worth it. Have you ever hung out with a lactose intolerant person?
Yeah.
They always push the limits.
Do they?
Yeah.
You ever hung out with a ham sandwich intolerant person?
No.
Mama Cass.
Ham sandwich.
It is the conclusion of more than one expert on the subject, including President Abraham Lincoln himself, that Grant suffered from a unique form of alcoholism that, quote, made him a better field commander, end quote. It made him into exactly the type of leader Lincoln needed. He needed the kind of don't give a flip attitude that only a dude who gets plowed on active battlefields can bring to the table.
Makes sense, because once you drink, you go, I'm the king of the world! You know, like freaking Leo, you know that bitch was drunk on that ship. I mean, he was doing like all sorts of ladies. And then he's like, yeah, let me bang bang.
The biggest evidence that Leo was drunk on that ship is that there was clearly room for two people on that wooden door and he wouldn't get on the damn door. According to numerous historians and historical journals, the secret to Grant's military success was not that he was a drunk, but it was that he knew he was a drunk. This gave him a distinct advantage over his Confederate adversaries because Grant, quote, had absolutely nothing to lose, unquote. Like Popeye was spinach, that booze was his superpower. This is what Ulysses S. Grant did for the United States and the Northern Army. He Popeyed that shit, but his spinach was whiskey.
Okay, I also do those things. I say, I'm gonna drink some of this. Okay, now I'm gonna get ready to pay my bills.
I think a lot of people have an element of Ulysses S. Grant in them, like you. If you're going to a family function, you're going to a social function, what do you do before you go?
Oh, dang, I gotta get lit. Because it does give me a little bit more courage, right?
Sure.
I know I'm like, oh man, I need some courage juice.
Same concept still implemented today by many, many people when they go to visit their mother-in-law. Grant fought the Civil War harder than any other general of his time because when any normal person would succumb to fear or overwhelming odds and retreat, Grant simply got himself so drunk that he could, quote, brush aside caution, end quote, and go the extra distance. He was a self-aware alcoholic, meaning that he knew when an impossible situation simply required him to be drunk enough to do the unthinkable, and he was willing to take that whiskey bullet for Team America.
If you're drinking, you're not really scared of anything. That's why I don't go to bars anymore. I go cray, 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 cray.
No, I've never seen you in a fight.
And that's why I get in a fight.
By fight, do you mean a second round of French fries? Because I've seen you get into that. Once Grant was promoted to commander of the Union Army, he was able to execute what no other Union general had dared, an utterly relentless war against the South, day and night. Before Grant came along, major battles were months apart, and more often than not, they resulted in Union retreats. But thanks to Grant's specific self-administered prescription of alcohol, he was able to throw caution to the wind and force the South to fight a war of brutal attrition.
If you're drunk, are you not giving like a speech every time? And you're like, yo!
Oh, okay. Maid of honor or best man at a wedding.
Everybody. Best man, the better man.
You're very ready to share.
You're ready to share. You go, hey, we might die, but we might not. And that's pretty freaking awesome. And everyone's like, yeah. It's a he's his own pep rally.
Historians describe Grant's alcohol benders as providing, and I quote, a release, but a controlled one, like the ignition of a gas flare above a high-pressure oil well, end quote, that Grant used to defeat the South and bring the bloodiest war in American history to an end.
That's a superpower, I think. If you can have benders, that's rude. That's kind of like rude that they said that. not having a bender. I'm having a great time, okay? Bro, if any little tiny bitch says I had a bender, guess what? I'm bending you over.
Guess what? Her fight with the fries is about to start right now. Second round of fries. This one. Let's go.
Have a good night, and don't hurt anyone's feelings this week.